You're listening to She's the Business podcast. Don't you just love a great story, something that really inspires you and shows you that perhaps the barriers that you thought that you had, for example, the lack of time to actually do what you want in your business, may not really be the thing that's holding you back. So I've got an absolutely cracking episode for you today. Please stick around, stay tuned to hear what Ali did to create a really profitable, thriving business and working just 10 hours a week as a busy mum with 2 little girls that are obviously a big priority for her. But at the same time, she wanted to have something that was her own, that was fulfilling, and take her business to that next level. So stick around. I'm about to play the interview for you after this intro. Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and in my 23 years of business and marketing, I've built many brands to become multi-billion-dollar companies. And just in the last 10 years, I've built 2 online businesses of my own from my dining room table with 2 little babies running around at my feet. I've made it my mission to inspire you to get out of your own way and become the successful business owner who's living the lifestyle you really desire without all the hustle. This is She's the Business podcast, made by women for women. This is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration. Now today I'm bringing you an interview with Alexandra Lopez. And she is one of my Business Jam alumni. She's a story that I love to share, little snippets of her story and her successes, because I think that what makes it all the more incredible of what it is that she's done is that she's doing it in just 10 hours a week. Now, that time limitation that she gives herself, it's through her own choice that she works for 10 hours a week because she has 2 young girls. But because of that, it makes her get really laser focused. It makes her get really tough. And just through the framework and the way of looking at her business that I've shown her through Business Jam has meant that she's suddenly able to leverage her time for so much higher, bigger success, results, and, in her own eyes, just as bigger benefit is not just the financials, but actually also having something where she knows she is giving her value at the highest level possible. Working with clients and having that amazing feeling inside of being completely fulfilled, completely balanced in her life, successful. And all it took was getting the parts of her strategy aligned to give her that business. She already had a business. So this was not a brand new business that she's gone from 0 to, hundreds in the space of a few months. No, she had a business, but it just wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going anywhere quickly at all. She had a lot of confusion. She had a lot to give, and she's really warm-hearted, beautiful soul. And she knew what she wanted to bring to the world. She knew what she wanted to do, but she just didn't really know how to do it, how to get her business actually giving her that achievement that she wanted to achieve, as well as working in with her life. Because as a mum, her 2 young daughters are an absolute priority for her. And that's why she's so firm on the amount of hours that she spends working in a week, because she knows that her time is precious. This time that she has right now is short. Yes, it will pass. The girls will grow up. She probably will end up working more hours in the future if she wants to. But the amazing thing is that she's actually figured out a way to have the school hours business. That is the dream of so many who never get there. And so sharing her story with you today, I want to inspire you to think that it is possible. If she's shown that it's possible in 10 hours a week, if you've got 15 hours a week, if you've got 20 hours a week, it is absolutely 100% possible for you as well. And this comes at a really timely time as well, because if you've been following my podcast for the last week or so, we've taken a short break from my usual scheduling because I've been bringing you a lot of content that is to help you take some steps forward and to also give you an insight into what's in Business Jam. And the reason why I'm doing that right now is because doors have opened this week. And in fact, they're closing in 24 hours. So today, if you're listening to this, it's Friday, the 4th of March. If you're listening today, then today is the day. Today's the day that you make a choice, whether you want to come and step into those shoes, like Ali and like so many others have done, and make some changes behind the scenes in the strategy to change what's then happening in what is happening day to day in the life of your business. We come and step back behind the scenes to do a few tweaks, to optimize, to align, to get the pieces of your strategy working in the way that they should be, to give you the outcome that you want to have. And that's a little bit different for everybody, but it's the same steps that we take, the same process on how you align the strategy, which is what you get inside Business Jam. So that's why that's a message for you today. If you're thinking of it at all, then don't delay, because today is the last day that you can get in to Business Jam. So stay tuned, have a listen to Ali's story. See how that resonates with you. See what similarities you might have with her and with what she was struggling with and what she did. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your feedback. Don't forget to drop us a review, because I do read every single one of them, and I'd love to share your review and share your business with my listeners as well. So please do leave us a comment, leave us a review if you found this episode to be really inspiring. And without further ado, let me play the interview for you. I'm here, yes, with lovely Alexandra Lopez from Alexandra Lopez Studios, one of my beautiful Business Jam alumni from 2021. And I asked her to come on this live and just hang out with me for a little bit of time today to share a bit of her story, because you might have heard me talk about her, but there's nothing like hearing it from Ali herself. And she's got a wonderful story, I think, so much really that you might relate to, so many things that you might feel inspired by as well, with just what she's been able to achieve this year. So thanks for joining me, Ali. I'm really glad that you're here today. Do you want to give everybody give us a quick intro to what your business is, who you are, who you serve and what you do?
Sure. So I'm Ali. My business is Alexandra Lopez Studios, as Jess said. So I work as a voice strategist for female-focused brands in the wellness industry. And I'm also a specialist coach for beginners looking to start a career. And just explaining that and saying that is the first point in what Business Jam did for me. Because I didn't have that spiel, that elevator pitch prior to joining the group. I didn't have that clarity that enabled me to just say what I am. But I am all of those things, and have been now for a year, really solid about what we unearthed in the group. And it's, sort of been a lot of hard work, but really through the clarity has come the most success, more success than I could have ever dreamed of in such a short space of time, because it really was only a year ago, almost to the date, that I started. And so having that clarity has been unbelievable.
Yeah. And so tell us, because you had your business for quite a while before you joined Business Jam. So how long have you been in business for, and what were you struggling with when you joined, like that reason for joining originally?
Okay, so to give you a little backstory, I've been in the performing arts professionally for 2 decades. So I started off as a dancer and then sort of morphed into acting and then into voiceover. So I've been working as a voice artist for about 15 years, just a bit over. And I didn't realise, I think probably the biggest thing that I didn't realise is that I had obviously been successful in my career, But I had bought into the story that my industry dictated back to me. And it's one of, here's your path, here's what you do, and don't ask questions, and you'll be fine. And I was fine. I was a working artist, which, is an achievement in and of itself, but I wasn't fulfilled. And I didn't know that I wasn't fulfilled until I worked with you and realized that there was a level that was there, but it was deeper, and I hadn't accessed it because I had limiting beliefs that I hadn't challenged, and you kindly but swiftly made me I say kindly because you were kind, but you were like, but why? But why can't you do that? And I really needed that at that particular time because, like, I can't stress enough, it was there. For anybody watching this, everything we unearthed was there, but I didn't have the confidence to step into the shoes of the person that would carry that out. So I needed this course more. It was more than just, an enhancement of my business. I needed it as a person because I needed to actually get a bit uncomfortable before I was able to kick goals, which is what I did, and I did it quite quickly. So yeah, that's really sort of where I came from. And yeah, I was struggling with things like clarity and things like, and I'm sure people can relate to this, just, seeing an industry and seeing how it works, but to be innovative and start something different, you have to be uncomfortable with that. You have to look around and not see anybody doing what you're doing. It's not a bad thing. And oftentimes it's what's needed. Somebody to say, I don't agree with the way that it's going, because my industry, to be very honest, has got to a point where people outbid each other for work. You really are just a case-by-case sort of itemized number. It's not so much about the person, it's you as a product and a number. And I didn't realize that didn't sit that well with me until we challenged it. And I realized that it didn't sit well with me because it's a value of mine to actually be who I am with my clients. And there exploded a whole new way of working. Yeah.
I think that so many people could relate to just that the market or, what competitors are doing, influencing them, what you're doing in your business. And without even realizing it, so often putting, a box around yourself or putting that limitation in place because that's what other people are doing and feeling like, well, that's therefore what I need to do. But you're just creating that kind of cookie cutter mold, and then you're all in there battling for the same things. And it's like, well, you can still do what you do, but you can pitch it, you can position it in a way that gives you space, in a way that brings you out of that mold and actually puts you somewhere where you can leverage your value, which is what you discovered through that process. Was like, wow, the actual value you had wasn't in charging yourself out by the minute and just being a voice that people like the sound of. It was so much deeper than that. And then to be able to go from that to being what you did, which I'll get you to explain where you went to from there, that is incredible because it created that growth. And, for anybody who's here listening as well, I think the amazing thing I always find with your story is 10 hours a week is what you had to put into your business. So you said, there was hard work involved. It was hard work, yes, and you're very dedicated, but you're doing this in 10 hours a week. It wasn't like it's overtaken your whole life to do this. It actually fits within your life, which I think is, that is something that so many people think about but just don't believe it's possible. Yeah. And you've just shown how much it really is possible, which is incredible. So, do you want to tell us what that transformation is, I guess, that you went from and to, what you actually did in your time in Business Jam?
So there's two sides to my business. There's a coach that specializes in beginners, and there's the voice strategist side. So I'll start with the coaching side. I kind of knew that there was a sort of voice in my head that said, I think it's time to start outputting what you have gained in your career, and start serving other people in that way. And I started thinking, what are all the things at the beginning of my journey that I wish that someone had just grabbed me and said, here's a blueprint for how this is going to go. This industry doesn't really have a blueprint. It's every man for himself, and everybody has incredible, inspiring stories, but can be really lonely in the beginning. So I really tapped into, I enjoy working with raw beginners. I think it's important to note here that there was so much chat that you and I and the other members of the program, we talked around what actually spoke to us as women. And for me, nurturing people from the very beginning of their journey is where I'm at. I am very maternal and motherly, and it makes sense. It's actually just an expression of me. So talking about the 10 hours of work that I do work that feels like me. And therefore, that's how I get more done in the time that I have. I always say I work 10 to 15 hours a week, but it's someone else's 60-hour equivalent because I work that strategically. That's a challenge that I like. So for anyone out there who is time poor, you don't have to wear that as I can't do that because I'm time poor. There's always a way of getting around it. Think about how much time you spend on social media. If you were to really dissect that and convert that back into your business, you would have time. So I challenge anyone with no time like me to really go, well, do I, or do I just think I don't have time? So that was the coaching side of my business. And really, since setting myself in the industry as a specialist coach for beginners, what's amazing is I have met lots of people who have said, where are the specialist coaches for beginners? So I found this lovely niche where people have actually beautifully referred people to me as a way of starting off with me and then transferring on to them. I didn't expect that, but it's been super generous and lovely, and I've been able to craft. I run a course, a signature course and a signature program that I worked on with you, Jess, that we are in our 5th week this week of the first round, and I have 5 beautiful members there. That was my goal for this first round. So that's so incredibly cool. And, you know, if anyone watching this has been in your industry for a long period of time and you're thinking, but I don't know what I could give back, you can. You've been in it for long enough to know that you have strategies and you have ways of working that could really help someone. I think the further along that you get on a path, you sometimes forget all the things that you've learned, but it's so important to go back and go, but if somebody was struggling with this, you know, do I wish someone was there for me? If the answer is yes, then have a real, deep dive into what you can offer, and I think you'd be surprised at what you find. Now, as for the strategist side, I again worked with you and the other women on how do I actually want to work with my clients, and how I work best, being highly sensitive, is one client at a time. I like to really get to know them. I like to get across their brand in a way that feels like they have got across it, and work personally with that brand. There, the strategist side of my business was born because I realized that I don't just go in and voice content. I work on a strategy for brands with their vocal content, their human voice. So then it was kind of like light bulbs going off and sort of working out, well, how does that tie in? What areas am I passionate about? The health and wellness industry, with my background as a professional dancer and and personal trainer, I was like, that speaks volumes to me. That's the kind of work I want to do. But I cannot stress enough that I didn't think that this was possible. I didn't think that I could be this specific, still get work, and be sort of working from my highest personal level. I didn't think that was possible. Yeah. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't think I could have got where I am right now without this program.
That's massive. That's really big. And I think, when I look at where you were and just the lack of clarity in the two different sides of the business, it wasn't like you did all of this within 10 weeks and got there. Because one of the first things I think I challenged you on was like, what is the leading side of your business? Like, which one do you actually want to build first or get working how you want it first? And then you can still have both. But if you're trying to put your energy towards both in 10 hours a week, we're really going to struggle to make any progress. And so I think that was quite instrumental in you getting there. You did the strategy side first. And, some of the stats that I've shared with people about your story, just by the end of Business Jam, you'd made those changes to your service offering and to your niche, and we're getting it out there and starting to talk about it. And then actually just being able to sign on the clients, you only needed one at a time, and just the huge growth in your revenue in the business, profit, money coming in because of the change of the level that you're operating at. So instead of operating at that lower level, suddenly you're at this strategic level that had so much more value for your clients. And therefore, you're being paid really what that value is that you're providing at that level, which, I
definitely think.
And what else do you think was something that you maybe didn't expect? I don't think you expected either of those, but something that you got from being in the program, or, what would stand out to you?
Well, look, everyone wants to talk about the finances, and that I think it's wonderful, and I like numbers, and I like money, and I like making money. So let's just put that in its thing. We're not in business to not make money. That's why we're in business. But for me, sitting equally as important alongside that is the fact that I was able to step into shoes of a very different woman. And it was a confidence boost for me. And I've spoken about this before, but the CEO mindset, I initially went, oh yeah, I think that. I call myself a business owner. And then I was like, no, CEO is a very different thing. And the unearthing of perhaps an old story of like, why don't you, in order to make all these changes and have the confidence to just step out and do them, I had to be looking at myself and the way that I operate in that light, in the shoes of the CEO. And that opened all of the doors, really, because the CEO module was early on, and it really it challenged me. It really did. I wanted to not be so specific. All the things we talk about, I won't be specific because, or you talk about, Jess, I won't be specific because I'll miss out on work. It couldn't be further from the truth. Being specific was the thing that gave me work. And just everything, I just want to say that everything that you say is true. It's right. And there were times when I wanted to say, I feel so uncomfortable. I did say to you, I'm so uncomfortable with this because I can feel this shift and I can't see it working. Therefore, why should I trust it? And I'm not going to say that it's a walk in the park, because it's not. And old stories aren't going to just fall by the wayside after 8 weeks. But it is a fantastic opportunity to start challenging them and saying, why can't this work? It's worked for other people. It can work for me, Yeah. And I think that I think what I found so amazing is the practice that you teach translates to all industries I mean, I'm in an industry, I'm in a modality in the performing arts, and it all related to what I'm doing. You know, we had copywriters, we had web designers in my group in Business Jam, all implementing these strategies and them all working across these different business specialist areas. I've found that really fascinating.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's because we've gone right down into the core of your actual business strategy. And it's not something that you just do once and set and forget and it's done. This is what you should be doing as a business owner, and always sort of be having the background thinking, well, if something's starting to feel hard or it's not working, then we come back to these 5 ingredients and we really look at, are we aligned still? Do I need to optimize one further? Maybe I could get more specific here. Maybe I need to relook at, how I'm pricing my services, or you might have reached that level where you're actually ready to get up to the next level, and you'll get to that plateau, and suddenly it will start feeling really hard and slow again. And that's actually maybe just a sign that you're ready to rise up again to another level. So it's tweaking. It's not like we go and throw the whole business apart and put it back together again. It's like you take each of these pieces and you're just tweaking it, optimizing it, and getting it back connecting together to be what you really want. And that's really the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the trust. It's the trust that it just takes time. But if you're dedicated to it enough, it will come through. It's just, like you said, where's the focus going to be for now? And the amazing thing is, the other side, if you have 2 sides to the business, it just carries along because you're actually working in a new light, in a new energy. You just have to give yourself over to the trust of the process. I think that's as women and mothers and often wives and partners, we've got a lot going on. We're juggling a lot. And what we all agree on is that we love our family and we are doing this business stuff for a reason. It's for freedom. It's for it's to smash goals and to have something to be very proud of, to stand up and say, I did this. But we all sort of stand united. It is hard. It is a juggle, and we all have the same story. I think it's so easy to see someone on a live with makeup on and think they've got it all together. It's so far from the truth. We're all juggling. I'm still in my pajamas today. It's just we're all there together. That's another huge thing that Business Jam did so beautifully, is not just working with you. It's the camaraderie of the group and, connecting, the fact that we're all mothers, the fact that we are business women, and that in and of itself is a massive lesson, and in connectiveness. That just propelled us all through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that whole thing, realization that we can be that successful business owner and can be a great mother and can have the time for both, which a lot of people think is a pipe dream. We've got to choose one or the other. It's not an A or B. I'm like, well, why not have both? Why can't we do that? It's not like there's not a way to do it. It just takes that little bit of time to examine your business from the inside and see, well, is it, if I keep going like this, is that giving me the outcome I want? Or if I start adding more, is it just adding more time, more hours, and giving me then the life I don't want? And so, it can feel at first like, well, okay, there's lots of thinking going on, but how is this actually showing up? What's happening? What's the result that's happening? And it can feel like you're not getting anywhere at first. Maybe you might be thinking, I'm understanding all of this, but how is it even going to change? But the funny thing is that when it does, that change just happens so quickly. And that's the beautiful thing I love seeing, is it can go from feeling like you're getting nowhere to like, whoa, oh my goodness, okay. Just out of the blue, I've got a new client. They're an exact fit for who I was saying I want. They haven't even questioned my pricing. Bang, it's all happening. And it just suddenly happens. And just seeing that, it's incredible.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. And so did you want to share just before we wrap up? We're pretty much done, I think. Thank you so much for sharing the story. But
that's okay.
If you had, so give us your, what you think's your standout achievement, and then what would you also say to somebody who's on the fence or thinking about Business Jam, not sure if it's right for them?
Okay, so the standout achievement over the last 12 months was being able to, I have a pool of a couple of clients who I've worked with for 5 or 6 years, all of them, and voice their content across their brands and organizations. When I put these packages together as a voice strategist, I was able to submit proposals to them that they all said yes to from this new way of working. So they're people who are in my back pocket anyway, but this is a totally different way of working. So that for me was an unbelievable achievement, because they could have said no. They could have said, we'll just go back to what you were doing before. And I'm very grateful that they saw the value in the strategist side. They actually wanted, what I didn't realize is most of them said to me, we were kind of looking for that, because this is not our area of expertise. We needed somebody to come in and make these suggestions to enhance the brand, because that's not our jam. It's not what we do.
Yeah. And so where do we even look?
Where do we even look? Yeah. Where are they? It's too hard. So I think a lot of people don't do that with human voice because they don't know about it, and because they go, oh, too hard basket, don't even know where to start. Yeah. Now, I think for anybody who's sitting on the fence, I think you've got to get really real with yourself and ask yourself, and you'll know, we're intuitive creatures, women. You will know, and like you just said before, Jess, when things are a struggle, you do need to stop and you need to go, why is it a struggle? Am I burnt out? Am I tired? Am I unclear? If the answers are all around your clarity of business, of putting in too many hours and not seeing any results, you need to do this. You need to feel the fear and do it anyway, because I'm not sitting here saying it's Jess makes it a breeze, but it's not super comfortable. It's not a super comfortable place to say I'm struggling. I'm unsure what to do from here. I don't have the answers. I'm working like a dog, giving blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm seeing nothing for it. It's not a nice place to be. We all know as business owners, we know that place. We've sat there, everyone has. But I think you don't have to sit there for any longer, would be my piece of advice. You can enter into this program and see results really fast if you are committed to the process and you trust. So I would say, yeah, if you're in struggle town of any kind, it's just like you said, a indication that you need to go back to the very roots and beginning of your business and what it means to you, what your area of expertise is, and have fun trying to unearth that, because it is fun. It is challenging, but also really amazing to get to the very reason why you want to be in business. The very offering that you have is very powerful, very, very powerful.
Yeah, and that's the difference between, I think, having a business that you're energetically aligned to and putting out your highest value versus something you can sell. And I think that's something that I've said so many times. Well, we can all create something to sell. We can make cookies, we can make lemonade, we can go and paint
whatever.
Fences, we can do whatever. We can make something people will want to buy. But it's a different thing to have a business that fits your life, that inspires you, fulfills you, motivates you, and that works for you as well. It's
like you say, fits within your life, it's something you want to be doing, and you feel like you're giving your highest value to your clients, how many people can really say they've done that? And it's because I think a lot of people haven't realized that level is even possible with their business, but it is 100% possible.
Yeah.
It's just about finding what that thing is for you, and it's going to be different for everybody, which is why there's not a cookie cutter business model that you follow, but this strategic work, the steps that you go through help you unearth what that is for you. And that's why it works.
Exactly.
You said, like, for different people in different industries, is because it's really you answering the questions for yourself and looking inwardly to get the answer. It can have that.
And you don't have to have that answer. You don't have to have that answer before you start. You just have to start.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And we're just our own, we're the thing that holds ourselves back. I was doing it as well. I was holding back from taking these steps that I knew I needed to do because, there's always that doubt, that little, well, is this actually going to work? Is this something I should be doing? And all of the fears pop up. It happens to all of us. And it's like you said, the sooner that you do it, the sooner you kind of think, right, I'm just going, what's the worst that could happen? It's not going to get worse than where I am. It's going to get better. Taking any action will help you get better. But once you do that, it can be a huge leap. And you discovered just how big a leap it can be. I think it's incredible. Definitely. You had 3 months and you made more than your entire previous year in that 3 months. I mean, that's it's mind-blowing. You'd never even have thought you could do something like that.
No, that's the thing. It's continued to shock me. And there was a business that existed for me before Business Jam, and then there was a business that exists now. It's totally different. Same industry, totally different approach.
Yeah. And it's just fantastic. I love seeing your journey, and now that you nailed those sort of 2 parts, and then bringing on your program and your course is something new that you've done just in the last couple of months, and you're just continuing to evolve. And that's the thing as well. I feel like we have this expectation, it's I create the business and it's done, or that's the destination or the success I'm looking for. But it is a journey, and you can keep on evolving. Even though you reach this level that you might not have even thought possible, there's still going to be something else after that, which is what's so exciting. You can kind of dial into, okay, what is that? And I'm going to up level some of my vision that I had before and move it into a new vision, which is what you're doing now, which is just incredible. So big congratulations.
Yeah, it's definitely. Thank you. Just on that note, it definitely is about just being alive in the moment. And when we say, you can't know what you don't know, it's so true. You just in the moment go, is this an opportunity that I want to pursue? Is it in line, or no, it's actually not? And I think that CEO snapshot of the yearly work and breaking it into quarters, that has been revolutionary for me, because every opportunity that comes my way, every email, every anything, I hark back to it and go, yeah, this quarter we said this was the goal. That's not in alignment. It's going to take too much time away from what I actually want to do. It's just the clarity is the thing that just gives you motivation.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what makes the progress as well, because you're not spending all that time putting energy out on these various things that aren't going to help you reach that goal. So
exactly.
Yay.
Yeah.
It's simple. It works. Yes, there's a lot of thinking in it.
There is, but it has an end point. And like anything, if you think about anything that you've ever done in your life that's worth it, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't easy the entire time. So there's, there's merit in the blood, sweat and tears. I just want to say that if anybody has further questions, I'm more than happy to answer anything. If they think about it in the thread and post, just tag me and I'll jump in and answer any further questions that anyone has. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks. That's just amazing. I really appreciate your time today. And if you are watching on replay, thank you for staying with us to the end, and like Ali says, she's really happy to answer your questions. So if you comment below this video, I'll tag her in it and she will then see your comment and be able to answer. But that's been great. Thank you. I really love hearing you talk about your story and your experience. You're a real gem. I've so much enjoyed having you in Business Jam. So thanks, you.
Jess. It was great. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Are you ready to have a thriving 6-figure plus school hours business that feels super easy? You can attract quality clients and enjoy consistent, profitable work that actually excites you without sacrificing your family time, free time, or me time. Why do so many underpaid professionals and coaches think that if they just do more marketing, they'll get more clients? Watching those respected authorities, wondering how often should I post? What social platform is best? How many emails should I send? Well, that's like flogging yourself on the marketing treadmill, where you're spending loads of energy pumping out posts, but getting no closer to your destination. Well, it's beyond frustrating. No doubt you're smart and your service can make a huge impact to someone's life if you could just get them to choose you. But if you're sitting there waiting for referrals, scouring Facebook groups for leads, and competing on price for every client just in case no more are coming, then you're keeping yourself stuck in the freelancer zone, where you'll continue slaving away on low-paid, uninspiring work and be miles from your revenue goals. What those respected authorities figured out, which others have not, is that the easiest way to a profitable school hours business is to align the 5 ingredients of your strategy so that you're attracting 5-star high-value clients on autopilot. And this is the big difference between those who are busy going nowhere and those who are busy rocketing towards their next goal. You don't have to settle for just any client. Snap your strategy into alignment and you'll never do low-paid work, rely on referrals, or feel pressured to do sales outreach again. In Business Jam, you'll ditch the slow growth for a sweeter spread. Just imagine how good it will feel when you switch from trying to please everyone to defining your specialization so that you become a respected authority and attract the 5-star clients who are a great fit for you. And you can stop pricing based on competitors' rates and instead build profitable packages that you can manage within school hours and finally reach those revenue targets. Create a simple system for your marketing that consistently brings you those amazing clients and have enough pipeline to keep your schedule as full as you wish, whenever you wish. Well, you can do all of that and start today. Business Jam is open for enrollment right now, but only until the 4th of March. And if you want to get all the details on how Business Jam can help you get that profitable school hours business where you're working with the clients you really want to be working with and doing work that inspires and excites you and be paid appropriately for it, well, come and get all the details and enroll right now. You'll find it at jessicaosborne.com/businessjam. And I'm waiting for you inside. Join me as a VIP or join me on the independent study option, and let's make your year in 2022 the one to remember, the one where you finally make that transformational change and reach your next level. Let's do it.